when I was married, I remember like thinking 3 years in, thinking, God damn it. If I could just get out of this, I will sit on this fucking couch and watch cartoons for the rest of my life. No drama, nobody crying, no, worried about finances. It's just going to be me, the cats, the couch, and Cartoon Network.
Yeah, you make it sound like a paradise.
It is a paradise when, look. Now, my second wife, when she was, okay, not to put all her business out in the street or anything, but she was like crazy, like SSI crazy.
Yeah.
Like getting like a check from the government
SSI.
crazy.
Oh, damn.
Oh. Okay. And the thing is with crazy people, when you think about crazy people, you think about what they are on TV and the movies and stuff.
They always make them look cool or funny.
Don't they make them look like, you could tell, oh, that person's crazy. I'm walking around talking, I got something in my eyeball. No. See, now the real crazy people are the ones that you can't tell they're crazy until you marry them. And then you can really tell they're crazy. Like, for example, she would do this thing in which she would sit down and she'd start crying. No reason, which is a woman thing to do. And I said, what's wrong? She'd be, I just don't think that I could be in this relationship anymore. See, now we've been married for like a year.
Yeah.
She do this every 6 months. This is the first time. I don't think we could be in this relationship anymore. I said, why? What's wrong? I'm not ready for it. I'm thinking, oh shit, we've been married for a year. You're not ready. Well, I mean, what can I, look, the girl, I'm talking to her. She gets up. She like is wearing her pajamas, grabs a bunch of coffee cups, runs outside. And I'm like sitting there and I'm like thinking, well, she'll be back in a second. She's in her pajamas. She ain't got her car keys. Waiting. Then I go outside and there's this like Mexican dude and I said, hey man, did you see a blonde, short hair girl? Yeah, she ran up into the woods with the coffee cups. And so,
and you didn't try to stop her?
Yeah, like that. Yeah. That was a good idea.
That's a good way to get stabbed.
With a shard of coffee cup, But so she eventually came back. But when I asked her, like, well, what'd you do with the coffee cups? I just needed to break something, And so, that's what I live with, like, pretty much every day.
And see, these are stories like this where he was sitting down and telling me, I'm gonna ask you to bring up some things where now I am playing the horny guy here and asking you all these things about how do you cope without having sex. But after hearing some of the things that you were talking about, I kind of understood where you were coming from. I really did think that maybe that's the best road for you to take because you really do need a break.
They broke me.
Yeah,
they broke me, man.
Yeah, they wore that dick down without even having sex with it. That dick was just tired because of crazy shit.
About my first wife now.
Wait, is this the one now? Are you about to talk about the one that the whole thing with the drugs and all this kind of stuff?
Oh, the second one was drugs too. The second one the second one really liked meth. Okay.
Oh, shit.
Well, yeah, but she didn't look like it, And I remember I used to smoke like hand-rolled cigarettes.
Yeah.
Man, I remember right before we got married, I said, look, I don't feel comfortable with you doing this meth. I would want you to like quit without.
This I'm sorry. I didn't mean to laugh. It's just this comes after you explaining how you can't always tell someone is crazy.
Well,
so anyway, she was smoking meth.
Well, she wasn't smoking it. She was smoking DMT, but she was snorting meth. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right. So
I stand corrected.
Yes. Get shit straight now. Okay. I take my cigarette. I'm smoking. And I say, my delicious drum cigarette. I'm saying, look, here's what I'll do. I will take this cigarette and I will never smoke another cigarette again if you don't do meth. That way we both give something up. Stubbed the cigarette out. I haven't had a cigarette since. This the 2004.
Damn.
She was for the entire marriage was mad at me for that. Okay? She was mad at me for putting that on her.
Sure.
I understand that now. The time I was thinking she would be kind of like happy that I would be suffering too, that, I'd be giving something up for her health because her health wasn't the best and all this stuff, but Didn't work out like that.
No, man, that wouldn't. As far as getting somebody to quit something, they gotta want. You can't want them to do it. They gotta want to do it.
And here's the weird thing: is she used to have like these friends, that would get her like her drug of choice, and there were these like older guys and stuff, and like in their 50s and shit. And I was like looking at
Mr. Dandy.
And, and I don't even know what it is, but that sounds like it. And like so I'd be worried that she was like gonna like get over there and like have like one of them dudes like bust a nut in her or something for like because that's what happened with the first wife, But I was thinking I was paranoid.
Whoa.
And
okay, that's a bomb. But go ahead, keep going.
Well, I can tell you about that later. But
yeah,
there's the first wife. Oh, well, no, okay. So anyway, I spent like maybe the marriage lasted 4.5 years. I spent maybe 3.5 years wondering where the fuck she was at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Shit.
Okay. And she would always either be out at blues bar dancing, or she would be over at one of these guys' house that were just friends. Okay. Now, I did realize her strange psychological problem was that she couldn't have sex without drugs, and it seemed like she didn't want to have decent sex. So, if you were just like there, hey, let's make love, it wasn't happening, But if you like, hey, let's get high and let me fuck you in the ass, that seemed like it would be more of her, down her alley. But, love, what can I say?
Shit, man, I came here to laugh at some wild stories, and I just want to give you a hug.
Yeah, I know, but it gets worse than this. So you couldn't see where she was at 3 a.m, so you're going looking for her.
Oh no, that's the first wife.
Jesus Christ! How many fucking drug addicts were you married to? At 3 a.m.
The way you're like probing him, like, so what else did you think? Like you knew that like she was with you. You just trying to get to the bottom of it to make sure he's not on your trail.
The second wife was pretty and she had a great shape. But she was into like meth, and she had like all these scars over her body from cutting herself and all this stuff, like real deep gashes and shit, but she was real cute. The first wife was ugly as hell, and she was into cocaine. Okay. Now I told you the story about like chasing her down in the night. Okay, but I told you the story about how I met her. Would you like to hear the story about how I met my first wife?
I would. Yes.
Are you on OkCupid?
No, I'm not.
Are you on OkCupid, Tom?
I am not.
Take it back.
No.
I was.
Okay. I'm on OkCupid now because I'm stupid. But at the time, there was no OkCupid. It was Yahoo Chat.
Okay.
See, this is where sex gets you. All right. Now, I was kind of like one of those guys that wanted a relationship,
Yeah.
But I would settle for sex if I couldn't get the relationship, because I'm romantic like that. And so I took a week off from my job, just got a computer, and I said, I'm going to be on this computer until I find me a girlfriend. So I was on the computer, and I was Yahoo Chat typing in, trying to find screen names. So I would type in things like tattoo chick 213, try to talk to her, nothing. Then I like try to type in something like white girl for black. White girl for black number 636.
I can't make jokes if he's going to say stuff like this.
You don't have to. I'm just sitting here listening, man. Because I didn't even hear this part of the story.
Okay, keep going.
And all right, so I finally like because I like girls with like a lot of piercings,
right, right.
Like,
okay,
the girl with all the shit in her face, and that's my wife,
Yeah.
So I typed in pierce, and this one came up, pierce me to please. Sounded good, so I started talking to this one, and she lived in Indiana.
Okay.
And so we were talking, had our things in common and everything, the piercing, the art, everything.
She likes black crazy people. That's
she's a white girl likes black dudes. What it is. And so, and don't get me wrong. I mean, it's just the reason I don't date black women is because the ones that I'm attracted to are always white dudes, and the ones that are attracted to me are big and fat. And I like girls with natural hair. I don't like the relaxed hair and the weaves and shit, because if you can't touch their hair, I don't want to be around you if I can't touch you. But anyway, so I found this girl online. Her name, well, I'm not going to give you her name. And the story that I write, her name is Ramona. And I wrote it all down. It's in my blog. But Ramona, I have to remember that so I don't slip and say her name. Ramona, sent pictures of herself oh, because back then you have to have a picture, or else, damn, she's, because if you didn't have a picture, she was automatically ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she was like one Lewis and Clark of the angles. She was like a discoverer of the angles. You know what I mean by the angles?
No.
The angles are like when a girl can, like, okay, if you see a fat girl wants to take a picture for OkCupid, what she'll do is she'll turn her face 3/4 like this.
Yeah.
And then it'll look skinny.
Okay.
Where it's full on, it's like a pie.
Okay.
This is like a crescent moon when you turn it this way.
Yeah.
Okay.
And sometimes bigger girls will hold the
camera
the camera up and point down so that the perspective makes their body like go to a focal point that makes it look thinner.
Exactly.
And show cleavage.
And
yeah, seriously.
I have that in my blog. I call that the sleight of tits. That's the sleight of tits. There's another one that's called the blackout, in which she'll do the similar thing, except she will wear black clothes with a black background, and she'll just show her cleavage, and they'll pop out.
Yeah.
Or else she'll like
there's a bunch of women who listen to this going, "Shut up!"
Oh, I'll give up all the secrets, girls. No, I still haven't learned. There's a million more of them. I keep now it's Photoshop, so I'm just fucked. But back in them days, we found this girl. She sent photos, and I said she's all right, So this is where some people think it gets weird. Okay, about 2 or 3 weeks into it, I'm already telling her I love her. She tells me she loved me.
And you never met her.
Never met her. And then I say, well, would you like to get married? So she says, yeah. She lives in Indiana. I live in Austin.
So you proposed to a girl online, fell in love with her before you had any kind of physical contact with her?
Yep.
Never seen her.
Never saw her.
Okay.
Saw pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So she says, Jeff, I want to get married. Yeah. So we set a date. It was like May then. I said, what about June 15th, whatever. Okay, good. I'll come down to Austin. I'll pay. So I paid for her.
Yeah.
Come down to Austin. About a week later, she we're talking online. She's kind of gives me one of those, by the way, I have a son type thing.
Oh, by the way, just a small detail. I have a son. No biggie though.
And a dick, but surely this won't stand in the way of our true love.
If you had met that son, you would have preferred the dick, But no, okay, all right. So when she said it, I'm kind of like, well, isn't that precious, And so I couldn't at this point, because I thought I was in love and stuff. So I said, well, I will learn to love him.
Oh no.
Okay. So the day comes for her to come to Austin. This is before 9/11, so I'm sitting there in the airport by the terminal door. Kids, but you used to be able to do that. And I had flowers in my hand. And I was wearing
a bow tie and a straw.
Don't the saddest stories like this start where the guy has flowers? Like when you see a guy holding flowers, you just know some bad shit is about to happen.
I just want to follow him around.
Okay, so you.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. So I see some guy walking with flowers. Like, can I follow you? I just want to see you get your heart broken.
Yeah,
get the flower away from me. No, man, it's gonna happen. I just want to be there.
So you hold the flowers.
So I was there with flowers, and there was all these old women. I don't know why there was all old women there. Nobody else but old women, and they were looking at me, and they were going, exactly.
Are those for me? That's why I hate buying flowers. You can't walk with flowers without somebody going like, oh, you shouldn't have. Are those for me? It's
I'm saying, I hope that when somebody asks a question like that, they have Alzheimer's and they think I'm their husband or something, because otherwise I'm just going to look at them like they're stupid. But anyway, no, actually I'm a nice guy. To do that. But so all right, I'm sitting there in terminal, old women are going, oh, and then I'm waiting for the plane comes in, people start coming off. And when you never really saw somebody, you're looking and say, is that her? Is that her?
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not her. No. I hope that's her. No, that's not her. Finally, it was the last person off the plane was this woman that looked like she could have been the ugly sister of the girl in the pictures that I had gotten.
Oh, damn.
All right. Now, check this out.
So you go up to her, you say, hey, was there somebody else on the plane?
Is your handler here? No. So, check this out.
Okay.
She is about 40 pounds heavier than I thought she was going to be.
Yeah.
Which you could see right off. As she got up, she said, ow, and she smiled. and her teeth were broken in the thing.
Oh, fuck, man. That's
like
I'm sorry.
She had like a letter A in the top of her mouth.
See, the extra 40 pounds, I'm like, oh, that hurts, but that's all right. I can work past that.
Okay.
But messed up teeth?
Wait a minute. It gets better. It gets better.
Yeah.
All right. She's got whiskers.
What?
Yeah, she's like hairs like coming out of the bottom of her neck.
And this is something that happened.
It's happened. Yeah.
Man.
And she had more blackheads on her face than I've ever seen. Anybody.
Like Morgan Freeman.
No, like
those are
zits,
moles.
like
Oh, okay.
yeah,
I'm talking about blackheads.
acne.
Oh, damn.
You know, and that's like I don't know about you, but I'm just one of the people that's like squeeze those things out. But anyway, so she said, "Al," and she comes up, and I'm like, "Hey," and all right. So
if you want to know how nice Al is, this is a clue how nice Al is. Al is so nice that he didn't run.
Yeah, you would have been well within your rights to act like your name wasn't Al and turn around and get the hell on out of there.
Yeah, Al, but you did the noble thing, man, and you actually married this creature that came off display.
I did. I'd married her. I remember getting in the car with her off the airplane out of the airport, and she gets on the passenger side. I remember sitting down in the driver's seat, sticking the key in there, and just thinking, my life is over. And then because I couldn't, I said I was going to marry her, and you can't
Hey, man, a man
very
is nothing
noble
if he doesn't stick by his word.
Although I didn't think at the time that she didn't go by her word. Because she lied about what she looked like. She sent them pictures. She knew exactly what she was doing.
Yeah. Leon's right. You would have been well in your right to do that. And furthermore, I really have to pick your brain right here, man.
Mm-hmm.
So for you to actually try to make this work, as you were making this drive home, through your mind were things going such as, maybe I can make this work if I get her into an exercise program or Weight Watchers. We can laser remove the hair under her chin. We'll get a good dermatologist for her. Yeah.
No, my mind doesn't work like that. What was going through my mind at the time was like all the pretty girls that I dated before, and I just comparing what was happening now. Because I was like, for some reason I like to torture myself like with that kind of shit,
Yeah.
or looking out the window at like some like cute Mexican girl because we were driving down the airport and seeing some cute Mexican girl and like going, never going to have that, and then like just going, that's what it was like. The first night we had sex. First night.
Wow, you actually went through with that, huh?
Yeah.
Well, turn the lights off.
But
spray the room with Glade first.
Well, she came out of the shower, right? So I was like, just lay there in the bed. She came out of the shower, looked over, and you could tell she had a son.
Damn.
No.
Now she was, and it was 10 years ago, but her, you ever see like, it's like a cross between, her stomach is like a cross between a walnut and a prune. So, and there's like the stretch marks, usually white girls don't have purple stretch marks, so
Wow.
it was like a relief map almost, but anyway.
Oh my God.
Went
Al,
through
what
it.
the fuck, man?
At least she shaved. That was at least she shaved her. Oh, not her face, but
yeah, she can give herself a Brazilian, but she can't shave a fucking beard.
Well, she was courteous to you that way.
That would have been an Italian.
I guess by shaving, she was giving you a message of what you're gonna be doing later on that night.
Yeah.
Okay, so you married Lupo the Butcher, and
oh man.
And so the first night you had sex with her, and you got
how
to
did
see,
it go the first night?
Yeah,
Actually, she wasn't bad. It was
Okay.
good. She got into it, but that was actually she was the best lay I ever had in my life.
Okay.
Believe it or not.
desperate girls are usually like that, man. They really put it all out there.
Well, it's like she just had I found out later, after like her many histrionics and everything, and our many trips to the hospital, I found out that she had like an excess of testosterone. So she had like a really high sex drive.
Oh, that's probably why she was growing hair on her face.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And so
before you continue, I want to ask you, man.
Mhm.
So you hear about these arranged marriages where people, they say you'll grow into love.
mm-hmm.
Let's just take all the physical aspects of this out.
Mhm.
Did you actually grow to love this girl and not see any of the flaws that you mentioned?
Yeah, I did.
Wow, that's really sweet, man.
I did, and it's like because when I made that pact, I'll get married. I was serious about it,
Yeah.
and so I didn't want to cheat or anything like that. Unfortunately, she didn't feel the same way, but it was like really a special thing. I'd never been married before, but she brings the kid. The kid's 10 years old. He's huge. He's huge, but he's got like the personality of a 3-year-old.
Oh.
So you can just kid.
I was gonna say baby Huey.
No, dude, he could be a wrestler now.
You twit me. You're the fox.
I saw a recent photo of him. He's got to be 6'7" and 300 pounds.
So when he met you, Al, did he come at you like, Daddy, Daddy?
Actually, his voice hadn't changed, but actually he came up and he's like, Dad, and he hugged me, and I was like, did she coach him to do this?
And picked you up off the ground.
He could have. That was a big ass kid, but he was my size back then, But
so did you grow to love the kid too?
Hmm?
Did you grow to love the kid also?
No, I hate that little bastard. I mean, you remember, now see, his personality of a 3-year-old, when it wasn't that he was like stupid, it was just that he was like, no, I don't wanna, he'd be lying. God damn, I can't take that, Wow. I had to finally just ship him back to his grandparents because I couldn't take it.
Wow.
You actually put him in a FedEx crate, nailed it shut, put some air holes in it.
I couldn't afford that. We had to go by plane.
Man, you remember those Warner Brothers cartoons where that couple, they had a giant baby? Did y'all ever see those?
I remember there was a Warner Brothers cartoon.
3 of them. Yeah. But a stork was too tired to drop the baby off at the real giant, so he just dropped it at his family's house.
Oh, the one I'm thinking about is the one with the 3 bears. It was Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and Baby Bear was bigger than everybody in there.
Just a typical
like
suburban white couple.
What is it, Chuck Jones?
I want to say it was Robert McKinson, I think, who did the directing on it. But they had this baby that was a giant, and they would just try to live with it. Like they'd use their swimming pool as a bathtub. And then he would get the dad home to work, like the dad would get in his car, and the kid would take the car like it was a race car and just zoom it down the street.
Oh yeah. Well, the reason why I was thinking about the bear one is because that one they really did try to treat this baby because it was actually a giant baby. It was a giant baby.
like a giant retarded baby bear.
No, actually, that baby wasn't retarded.
All
I think
babies
the baby
are retarded.
Well, yeah, pretty much. But this baby was just an infant, and they didn't know what to do with him. The one that I'm thinking about with the 3 bears, that bear was fucking retarded, and the father didn't give a shit. He was upset.
Yeah,
he hated that bear. It was because it was Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and then Baby Bear.
It was Junior.
And Papa was just
Junior.
That's right. Junior. Yeah,
cartoon was hilarious.
And Mama Bear would be like, "Oh, Junior, so sweet," and Papa Bear would be like,
well, Junior was always like dropping something on Papa accidentally or blowing something up in his face.
Yeah, he was always hitting them and shit.
Papa's getting ready to have a stroke. You could see through his fur that the blood was rushing to his temples.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about with you. Like, you got this big, mentally challenged kid that's too big to kind of do anything with you. You're just son of a bitch.
He really liked wrestling. So at one point,
Jesus.
So at one point, I body slammed him onto a mattress, and he started crying. And he's 10 years old, and he's my size, and he's, and I was like, shut up. And I realized I'm not a father at that point because I called him a pussy.
When you
one of them, Dad.
When you DDT your kid, that's called not being a good father.
See, what's going through my head right now is that you said when you body slammed him, you're saying he's crying, but I see him like holding you up and everybody by your throat. Why did you do that, Daddy? Bad Daddy! Bad Daddy! Oh, man! Oh, fuck!
Hey, man. Don't. The thing is like at this point he is that big, and he is in jail, if not prison at this point.
Man. Wow. So you married this Al. You married this girl, and you try to do the right thing. I mean, the way you describe her, I didn't see her, but the way you describe her, she sounds hideous. And then she comes in with this son who's even worse to handle. And you stayed with this as long as you could, and you didn't actually break up out of this marriage, which should have been doomed from the beginning.
Yeah, and she was cheating on you?
Yeah, and she's cheating on you, man.
Yep. I stayed with her a whole year after finding out that she was cheating on me.
And so is this a story that you told me about, when you went looking for her in the drugs and all?
All right. Now check this out. 5 a.m. I have to be to work at 6 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
I get this call. And this is what I'll show you a picture. That's what my wife looked like, first wife.
Okay, he's showing us a picture from the
that's unfortunate.
Negro Comic. What is this called?
The Negronomicon.
The Negronomicon. Oh, sorry. This
isn't make for good radio. This is
I'm just.
If you want to see what she looks like,
maybe you can post a picture.
How do you pick it up again?
Well, you just
wow.
Blurb.com.
Well, you can go to Blurb, or you can just find me on Facebook, and I'll show you. But,
yeah. Oh my God, Al, you should have ran, man.
Well, but
did you have any friends at the time?
Yeah, I've kind of being a loner mostly, but
I know you have periods where you're alone.
Well, your friends aren't gonna like say, "Damn, man, she's ugly." No, they're gonna say, congratulations, which is what they all did.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna like come out and just say, "Damn, man, what up? What's up? Well, that's not your usual style. What'd you do that for?"
Not even
Must
one
be
friend.
love.
Usually, there's one. People might have one friend.
I
in the
don't have
package.
that many friends.
Okay.
Damn,
Yo,
okay.
you need
But,
some to
5 o'clock
put
in
an
the morning.
intervention on your ass. But anyway, 5 a.m. Go ahead.
You love this. 5 o'clock in the morning, and it ends with the best line in history. 5 o'clock in the morning, I get this phone call. A guy named Charlie. Charlie is the best friend of my wife, Ramona.
Yeah.
So, Charlie says, "Hey, Al, your wife is over here. She's drunk. She's acting crazy. Come get her." So, I drive over to, is in Hyde Park over there at those apartments that are right next to like Hog Wild, where I lived there for 7 years. So we moved off a few months earlier, or a year earlier. So I go upstairs to his apartment, and I could hear like it's behind the door. And I open the door, kind of knock, walk in, look around. It's all messed up. It's like empty beer bottles and crack pipe on the table. And I look at her. She's like stalking like an animal, back and forth, pacing. And he just kind of gives me this look like he's given up. And I said, "Come on, let's go." And I grab her by the arm, and she bites me. Yeah. And so, thankfully, she had the teeth fixed because that A in her mouth would have hurt.
Wow.
But, And so I pull my arm away, and then, like, I grab her by the back of the neck, and I'm like, "Come on, get your purse. Let's go." So I lead her down the stairs by the back of the neck, and we get down to the bottom of the stairs, and she turns around, looks up the stairs, and then she says, "That's right, just fuck me and leave me." And then she proceeds to walk down North Loop, dropping like a shoe would come off, and then she'd drop her purse, and then like
just dismantling.
Yeah, exactly. And then so I'd be behind her like trying to pick it up, and then, "Hey, come back," like some strange romantic comedy that never should have been, but they made it anyway. And so as we sit and I talked to her that morning actually, and put her in rehab.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly how long it took, if I did the same day or what, but I went back to Charlie's place. And I said, "Charlie." Well, first of all, I go to his place, I knock on the door. He opens the door, he's got a baseball bat in his hand. He hands the baseball bat to me and he says, "Okay, just get it over with quick."
Damn.
And I say, "Man, just sit your ass down." And so I like sit down on the couch next to him. I say, "Okay, tell me what happened." And he says, "Why do you want to know?" I said, "I want to know because it's my wife. Tell me what happened." He says, "Well, she would come over. We were friends. We were playing video games and stuff. And she found out I could get cocaine. And she liked cocaine. So when she didn't have money, I'd have sex, in exchange."
Where's that bat again?
Well, but because it was like, she was a hairdresser, and then she would always come in. I said, "Where's your check?" "Oh, we didn't have much business." She'd cash her check, and so anyway, I guess it was all going to cocaine. But Charlie then says, "Yeah, but she fell in love with me. She fell in love with me, and she wanted to move in here with me, and I told her no. So that's when she got kind of crazy." I said, "Huh, okay." And then he said, and this is the best line anybody would ever say to me in my life. I could have died like right that minute and never heard anything more awesome than this. He said to me, "But don't worry, Al. We protected the sanctity of your marriage." I only fucked her in the ass.
I knew that was good.
Thank you, man. You're a good friend. Wow.
So left knee or right knee? Which one do you?
Well, the only good thing to come out of that is that I found out she liked anal. That was the only good thing to come out of that. But I stayed with her for another year, but she kept disappearing into the night, and so
You stayed with her for another year after that.
Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah, man, you had an out. You had a golden out.
I know. But
Like the door just lit up.
I know,
with a
but
halo
part
around
of the problem was that I couldn't afford the apartment I was living in by myself. And had a lease and shit.
That's a common problem for people.
Yeah.
I know several people who want to get divorced and they can't afford
Mr. Fred Tony, what's your...
What kind of a job would she have? That little
Hairdresser.
Oh, she's a hairdresser.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so she would get a lot of tips, but she wouldn't, show me tips. Then she'd get her check and she would cash her check and then tell me, oh, I didn't make any money. Business was slow, so
what are you doing all day?
Yeah. Mr. Fred Tony, what, you've been sitting over there. I know you just asked the question, but what's your opinion of this so far?
Okay. Now, what you said before about being asexual, I kind of understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But now that you've told me the story about your ex-wives, I'm saying, well, maybe you're just crazy. It's like these women have clearly driven you insane.
Well,
and now it doesn't seem to make as much sense anymore.
Is it necessarily insane to not want sex?
No, it's you know what? Here's the deal, Al.
I just think just me sitting here with you, Al, sitting here, I would be afraid to have this conversation just one on one with you, in a room by yourself, because it's like I'm talking to the Joker right now.
Is it really that crazy?
But see, I don't see it as crazy. I just see it as a string of unfortunate events.
You have other stories with wives like this, right? I mean, and I don't know if we'll have time to do it. And that was a handful right there. I'm just listening to this, and I would love to hear more. Maybe we can have you come back on next month or something and tell us the more of the Chronicles of Al. But I'm listening to this, Al, and it seems like I don't want to sit up here and psychoanalyze you, but it seems like you seek these kind of women out.
That sounds like my mother saying that.
You sound like if you were a woman, this is the kind of discussions that people have with women where they say you seek abusive relationships to be in. And that's kind of what this is. I mean, that you've sought women. It's not like you're seeking some sort of drama in your life or there's a certain type of girl that you're looking for and it's driven you to the point of being asexual.
I think that what's happened is the girls that are pierced and tattooed up that want to talk to me just happen to be crazy.
Okay.
I'm not picking them because they're crazy. They're coming to me because they're looking at me and going, oh, I can deal with him. Or he can maybe deal with my shit.
I see that as part of it. I mean, you like the girls that are pierced and tatted up. And most of the girls who do that, they have some issue, some personality issue that leads them to doing that, to fall into that.
But I understand Corey's point. Yeah.
But you also, I mean, it's clear that there's a self-esteem issue with yourself that doesn't.
There was.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. That wasn't with yourself that made you go, well, maybe this is what I deserve, or no, I should try to make this work.
Yes, and make it work. And I will tell you exactly why. And what it was that when I was 10 years old, and I just figured this out a couple years ago. When I was 10 years old, something happened that kind of changed my perspective towards women.
Okay.
Now, as a little kid, my mother was real close all the time with me, and she was like a, sitcom mom. She was real sweet. Then when I was about 10 years old, she walked up to me. I remember I was on top of the staircase, and she walked up to me and she says, I'm not going to be treating you like I have been treating you. I'm going to have to change. You're going to have to grow up. You're not going to be sweet anymore. And then she walked off. And I thought she was, kind of joking, but from that point on, she was very cold and non-emotional.
Wow.
And I figured out from that what I'd been doing all my life. I've been chasing women just to have a woman close to me. And it really didn't matter if they were crazy or not.
Yeah.
But it just seemed like the crazy ones were the easier ones to get.
Okay. All right. That makes sense.
And I asked my mom about this, it was last year. I said, I was wondering about that time when you said that you couldn't treat me like you had been treating me. And she said, I don't really remember that.
Man, I knew you were going to say that because my mom has done that too.
But if I did, I can tell you it was because I was afraid that your father was going to hurt you.
Shit.
Because he was jealous of the attention that I was paying to you.
That's wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
So she was cold to protect you.
Mm-hmm.
Which now, do you feel some sort of resentment, like your mother should have stepped in instead of being cold to you? She should have stepped up to your father.
No, because he would have killed her.
Yeah, I mean, she was doing the best she could.
Okay, or maybe she should have just left your father and taken you.
It wouldn't have been that easy.
No, it wouldn't have been that easy. He was a cop.
All right, what
so
do I know?
Fuck.
He was a cop. So
That's weird. Okay, you're from Chicago, right?
Mm-hmm.
And your dad's a cop.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the same thing with Greg. He's from Chicago and his dad is a cop.
Yep.
And actually, you and Greg kind of look alike.
Yeah, exactly.
Seriously.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, they do.
Really, with the dreads and the glasses.
It's weird because I found out my father had, not necessarily affairs, but he had been fucking around for years. He sent me this jacket, this police jacket, and I was looking through the pockets and they found a condom in one of the pockets,
God damn.
And I was like going, man, so the old man was just, a fella.
Is he dead?
No, they're still married.
Have you ever, now that he's older, have you ever gone and just said, I don't whoop your fucking ass right now?
No, because you know what? We're cool now. I remember when I was in college, freshman in college, he called me and he said, I'm sorry for, being drunk so much of your life. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm giving it up. And I was like,
I'm already fucked up now.
I was
exactly.
like, cool. I was thinking, man, I wish he had done this 15 years
hell
ago.
Yeah.
But he's cool now. He's cool as hell now. And mostly because, he had some health problems and stuff. So he's mellowed out. But I mean, I'm still scared of the man because he still will fly to a rage. And I have nightmares about that man, just flying in a rage. And when you're a cop, you develop this cop mentality. And you realize, especially in Chicago, it's like a gang.
Right.
You can get away with anything if you're a cop. I mean, you can fuck your family up.
Yeah.
And nobody's gonna do anything about it because, you're one of the boys. I mean, not saying that I was abused. He gave my mom a black eye once. This is getting too dark, man.
No, this is Actually, man, Al, this is fascinating.
It's getting dark, but I don't know. I feel like we're getting to the meat of all this.
Yeah.
Al, the thing is, I've known you. Now, I haven't been consistent with you throughout the years, but I've known you for years. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to be upfront with you. Leon and I would get together, and whenever your name came up, you would always be the crazy other black cartoonist in town. Al Frank is out there. At least I haven't. I've never been able to see this side of you, man. It really explains a lot. I'm not saying explains why you're nuts and you're crazy. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying there's a lot. I've always thought you had some issues. I mean, the thing that you're talking about women now, I know that these women gave telltale signs out there that situation was doomed from the beginning, and you went with it, and you were probably drawn to it.
No, I wasn't drawn to it, but I didn't want to.
You weren't repelled by it.
Well, I was, but I didn't know when to say enough is enough.
Okay.
In my mind, it was like, okay, well, at what point is this me not working on the relationship versus me not taking care of myself? I was always more concerned about taking care of them or fixing what's wrong with them and not really thinking about myself. Myself became almost a non-entity every time I was in one of these relationships because I was trying to help this other person through whatever trauma, tragedy, drama, crazy spell they're having.
That's sort of a common behavior for people who've gone through what you have, because anything to avoid dealing with yourself. If it means coming to the rescue and being concerned with somebody else and focusing on pleasing other people.
The second wife had that same thing though. She would always go out and hunt for crazy. But I didn't try to find crazy people. I just took care of them once they showed up.
There's plenty of crazy people out there.
I mean, what you're describing, it sounds like a lot of stuff that you'd see a lot of women go through.
Yeah.
The other way around, but it's just.
Yeah, and I'm sure this podcast is going to get me the ladies after hearing this.
Well, I don't know, man. I mean, now
it will. I mean, shit. People love the sensitive guy because you for years. I'll maybe you don't want to hear this, and I might be wrong, but I felt that you've put on this hard exterior of trying really hard. to either get people to like you or impress people or make people laugh, to the point where
I remember Al who used to try to make people hate him.
Oh, and I was about to say, but you also kind of I've seen you be aggressive with people too, and there's this thing that you've just got this hard exterior that's putting on whatever you're trying to do at the time, this really exaggerated version of yourself. Because I have seen, like Leon has, I've been joking, but I have seen this side where we just sat down and just talked and had a good time. But this whole thing with you and being asexual, it sounds like you were right at this point working on some self-esteem issues, and that's probably why you don't want to be with anybody.
You know, it's at this point in my, I didn't do that in the mic, but at this point in my life, I'm satisfied with me.
Yeah.
You know,
this is where you need to be. This is where
I should have been.
Right, right. It's where you need to be. I
guess it's like when you have that sex drive, you are always out searching. You're looking, trying to find, at least black dudes are. I don't know about white dudes. White dudes, you see them out somewhere there at the pool table. Black dudes always scoping, you know. Am I lying?
White dudes look for women like this. Black dudes look for women like this.
White dudes look for women by looking at another white dude and saying, hey, that girl back there, what do you think? Black dudes look for girls like, hey, baby. What you know? So, yeah, but if you don't, not at that point, you know, having like that, I mean, I had like a huge sex drive, but it wasn't one that I was going to like do like most guys and just like, you know, try to be aggressive, overly aggressive with a woman. That wasn't my style, but I still had a huge sex drive. And at the time, being like 20, 30, whatever it was, I didn't have time to like think about me.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to think about busting a nut, you know?
Right.
Whereas now, having that off your head is such a relief.
Sure.
You know, I mean, you wouldn't know what a relief it is until you like go to Walmart and you like see like this girl with a big fine ass, you know, and she's wearing like whatever the hell you like her to wear.
Yeah.
And she's with this guy.
Little short ice skater skirt. Sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
And she's with this guy.
From.
and she's giving this guy hell. And he's trying to like, oh baby, and she's giving him hell. That is what I see all the time. You know,
wow.
It's like, so I'm like sitting there. So I can pick that out when I see a pretty girl.
You're like Keanu Reeves in The Matrix. Like, when you see a girl now, all you see is a bunch of numbers and all the bullshit you got to go through. Like, I can't even see how fine this girl is. I just hear her mouth whining.
You make me want to go get the scissors and chop my penis off right now. It sounds so it's such a relief.
If you can find a way to like lower your testosterone, it helps a lot.
That ain't happening.
You don't chop off your penis. Cut off the balls. You still want to pee straight.
Okay. Now, check this out. My second wife, on top of all that stuff with her having like the crying and the flashbacks and all that shit with, you know, her own sexual problems and not being able to have sex when she wasn't on drugs and stuff. On top of all that, when my testosterone dropped, I wasn't performing well. Yeah. So I was all freaked out. I was freaked out, man. Oh, why my dick not working? Smacking it, couldn't beat off or nothing, you know. So I go like to like this doctor, and it was like one of the map card doctors, you know, the free clinic doctors.
Yeah.
And she was like, I love this doctor. She was GP, but she said to me, do you get erections while you sleep? I said, no. She says, then you probably have low testosterone. Yeah. And I was like, thank you, God, because having a solution to something like that, because I wanted to please my wife. I didn't even care about having sex at that point. I just wanted to please my wife.
Yeah.
You know. And she said that she didn't want to have sex, but from her history, it's just all complicated. But, you know, finally got back the test results that said that I had the testosterone of a 14-year-old boy. And so.
A 14-year-old boy's pretty horny all the time.
No. But you're think about it. You don't mature until you're 18. You're just starting at 14. Your average, male's testosterone levels is going to I think it's between 600 and 900 nanograms.
Yeah.
I was like 115.
Well, no, I was pretty horny at 14.
Yeah, because I'm thinking like, I think like the whole entire year I was 16, I had a hard on.
Well, 16, yeah. Not 14. 14, I don't know. Other guys, I remember when I was 14, I was a late bloomer. I mean, I didn't even grow any face. still can't grow a decent beard. But, you know, I didn't even grow facial hair until I was, 22, 23 years old.
Yeah.
And I hadn't grown. I didn't have to shave. I shave weekly now.
Wow.
Okay.
So, all right. Well, Al, this is fascinating. I could talk about this with you for another hour, man. This is amazing. We have to move on to some other things, but Al, this is.
Go ahead.
I feel like no. I
just before we do that, shooting your dog. I got to know how.
You know what, Al? You know what? Here's what I will do. This has been so fascinating, and we really do have to move on to something else. Leon, how would you feel about maybe in a month
having Al back on?
Having Al back on to talk about the story about shooting the dog.
Hell yeah, absolutely.
Would be a pleasure.
Al, this is. I feel like. I don't know, Al. I feel like we've made some breakthrough in our friendship as well as just getting to know you.
I feel like this is like cheap psychoanalyzation, and I'm a cheap bastard, so I like it. I appreciate it.
Victory.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm paying for my therapy. You know, you get this for free.
Quid pro quo.
Exactly.
It's like Hannibal Lecter and Clarice. Thank you.
Wow, man.
Mr. Pruitt-Tony's up here crying, man. You all right? Mr.
You know what,
Tony?
Corey, I'm liking this new format of the show. We need to bring more people in here.
No, we're not gonna do that. No. When it merits having somebody on, I will more than be. I would be more than happy to. And it just so happened I felt inspired to bring Al on. Al, I was worried, man. I didn't even know we were gonna get to this level at first. I thought it was gonna be crazier, but this has been great.
Well, damn. I mean, you weren't asking the right questions, Clarice.
Okay, all right. All right. But I'm glad we got here, man.
And then my mama didn't love me.